everybody, welcome to Tea with D
and A.
Yay! Oh, what a week it's been. This is so amazing. There's so much stuff going on. What's going on with you? How are you doing?
I'm doing a lot lately, teaching classes still. So we have the chakra class on Monday evenings. People can drop in for that anytime. Monday nights from 6 to 7 at Right Natural Health, and so we're delving in deeply with each of the chakras one at a time. So we're not meeting on October 30th because it is right before Halloween.
Right.
But we are meeting on all of the other Mondays, so come join us this coming Monday. And then I've also got the numerology classes on Thursday nights, which has been so exciting.
Yeah, I actually have a couple of friends that are taking that class, and they're really learning a lot from you. Like they
There's so
really
much
love
to
how
it.
you teach. They really
Thanks.
do. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, they're like, her energy is so great, and we learn so much, and she doesn't dumb it down, but she doesn't say things that are just nobody can understand, and blah blah blah. Like, yeah, I know she's awesome.
That's so nice.
That's why we do this stuff
So
together.
nice,
You know?
right?
Yeah. So that's
nice.
awesome. So is there anything else going on? Like anything going on with Earth and Sky coming up or anything
Well, you
like
know
that?
what else is coming up, and I don't know if I've told you about this yet, but we are I'm going to do my own private Halloween ritual. Of course, you're invited to, but on top of that, what you and everybody else is invited to, with Devana Wallace, she's a shaman. She works a lot with the animal shamanic energies.
Oh.
She's doing a public Samhain ritual that's going to be downtown at the fountain, the Grand Fountain, you know, by where we got married. They have that huge fountain. So we're doing it there. It'll be on Sunday night, the 28th.
The 28th? Okay, I'll have to put that in my calendar.
Yeah, it should be really nice because what she was talking about is the fact that the only way to really bring everybody together in the community and to raise the energy and allow people who are, you know, wondering about it but aren't really entrenched in it, to let them know what everything is about, is to invite them in and do a public gathering. So it's going to be all about love, all about honoring your ancestors. So if you want, bring a drum, bring a photo of your ancestor. If you have one or multiples, feel free to bring those, because she's going to have an altar to honor the ancestors there.
Oh, that's cool.
It's going to be an exciting night.
And it's right by the water too, so all that's going to
all
go
of
into
that
the
energy.
water.
Yes,
That's
yeah.
awesome. That's awesome. Yes, Flint is still having issues with their water, so if you would please send energy, go online. There's lots of different organizations that are taking donations. We really need to get these pipes fixed.
Yes, and it's been going, it's a slow process,
Yeah.
but they are doing it. At least I'm a little concerned because there are a lot of places that they're saying, oh no, the lines are fine, they're copper, or you know, whatever.
Right.
But they're saying a lot of them are fine, and I guess because my trust has been lost so much by the government, I just question. I'm not sure which lines are really galvanized versus which are okay, but they are going along systematically. They're testing. They say they're replacing any of them that are lead lines or the galvanized lines. So
yeah. And there's also places that other Flint residents can go to get their water tested, because there's a lot of people who still haven't had their water tested.
Yeah, the majority, more than half of the people have never had their water tested, which is really a shame. And you can get independent lab testing done now too.
Right.
And they have slowed down. They've closed down several of the water stations, but I think there's 3 or 4 stations that are still open in Flint, so people can still go get the bottled water. They've actually been giving zero pitchers out too, which is really nice. Again, a little bit concerning to drink anything from the tap in my mind, but it's nice to have the zero pitcher option, because for some people, for some seniors, they just can't get out. They can't carry those heavy cases of water. From what I understand, if you really are disabled or senior, then you can still get it delivered to your house, but it seems like that's been a little bit of a process. I know I called to get delivery at one point because I wasn't able to, JJ was out of town, and I just physically wasn't capable myself with some things going on.
Right,
and they never showed up, and then they ended up, I called again, and they put a note on the door saying they tried to deliver it. Well, I was sitting here in the living room when they came, so they never knocked. So that makes me wonder how many people this is happening to.
Yeah, exactly. It's a bit frustrating, but yeah, like you said, it's a process. It's not going to happen overnight, getting everything fixed. But so just good energies to that. And speaking of water, We have tea here,
Yes.
a new tea, and this is another one from Angela's collection.
Cardamom and curry. We talked about them last week.
Yeah.
This is spicy simla. Reminds me of spicy salsa dancing.
Okay, I won't do that again. I don't think this is salsa, but
that works though.
I like
spicy. Spicy.
Spicy tea. Yeah.
I love it. And so, actually, I grabbed the wrong bag, but it is spicy simla in there.
Because we're always prepared for these videos.
Yes.
We like to keep these like kind of light because she has things that she's teaching. I have things that I'm teaching, and we just want to keep this light and just
fun.
and
Yes.
get some information, but just
Yeah.
not so darn serious.
So spicy simla has cinnamon, clove, and a lot of other great stuff. It's a black tea, and I like to do a little almond milk with this one. So doing it the English way again.
Ooh, the English way. Yes, we just love the English way.
And this one is
Absolutely.
a strong tea.
I do enjoy my strong teas, so I'm
Yes.
excited about this. I like the more caffeine, the better, I think.
Yes,
for a lot of
yes.
these different types of teas.
It's so good. my
So
favorite.
I have something that I want to talk to you about, Angela.
Okay.
So Angela is, for those of you who are just tuning in and new to our little channel here, Angela is very schooled in a lot of things. She's going for her doctorate in metaphysics and all that, and she is teaching a numerology class.
Yes.
Now I know the basics of numerology, but I have not dove deep into numerology yet because it just hasn't been called to me. However, I have been noticing a lot of like 4s, 1s, and 4s. Like I know there's some significance to that, but I can't remember because it's not sticking in my head. So I kind of want to bring that to you. I know you can add them together and you come up with a 9.
Yes.
And the 9 is the end of a cycle, correct?
Right, and there's a few things with 414 that are interesting because there's a pattern. One of the students in my class has been seeing this a lot with the 144,000 is a
Yes.
big thing right now, or even just seeing 144. Seeing that combination together is an activation code for light workers. You're a light worker. Anybody who does energy work, Reiki, trying to heal the planet, healing, raising the vibration and the love here as a light worker. And so you are, when you're seeing that, it's a remembrance about, because it's not the 144,000, but it's 414 together, so that's reminding you about being a light worker. So what I would do when I see that is kind of pay attention again to what's going on. Is there something that you feel like you're in the midst of raising your vibration right then? Or are there people around you that could maybe use a little bit of that extra love from being a light worker? And then also adding them together, just like you said. So if you add 4 plus 1 plus 4, that's the 9, which is the end of the cycle. So if you're seeing that a lot, then there might be something in your life that it's time to let go of. It's time to get rid of, which is perfect this time of year because we're right at the end of the year. We're at that point where the whole harvest is coming in, and then anytime a harvest comes in, you want to share some love, give some of it away to other people as well. And also honor yourself by letting go of things that just don't serve you anymore, letting go of what you don't need anymore, so that as we go into the fall and then as we go into the winter with the planning season and the time to really come inward, you've already shed those layers. So whether it's depression, you just stopped smoking. You told us last week. I'm so proud of you for that.
Like totally, because I would just go to it just to. Yeah, every time I got stressed or anything like that, I mean, that's what I would run to. I would go 6 months, a year even, and not smoke, and then all of a sudden something traumatic happens, well, traumatic to me anyway, and then I just go right back to the cigarettes. So, and this last round, I've been seeing the 1s and the 4s, and I'd look at the clock and it'd be 4:14.
And so that's a good thing because that's kind of combining. So it's the end of the cycle of cigarettes for you. It's that light worker activation. So it sounds like your spiritual side, like that higher self of who you are, is really ready to quit this time because you have the endings and the light worker coming in. So both of those energies are coming in to give you that boost so that you can be done with it forever.
Yeah, I feel super determined about a lot of stuff.
That's awesome. Yeah. And then you can analyze those numbers separately too, because the 1 is the beginning. So right now, planetary wise, we're in a 1 year, which for everybody, probably for you, we haven't really talked about it, but have you felt like this whole summer has been so insanely busy, more than normal, or like this year? You've had more going on, more changes, more new things?
Yes, because just the more new things, the purging of the old, like the old feelings, the old way of handling things.
Yeah.
It's like the universe is forcing me to go into a different direction.
Yes.
And it's a lot through our emotions. I don't know if any of you have studied Abraham Hicks at all or anything like that, but our emotions are kind of our guidance system. So a lot of self-help gurus and life coaches and stuff will tell you, don't let your emotions rule you, but allow them to guide you.
Right.
So it's kind of like your guidance system, and my emotions have just been all summer. Like I'll be happy one day and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, am I bipolar? Am I going through perimenopause way early? Like what's going on with me? Like this, I feel insane. I feel like a crazy person.
Right.
So then when I explore this stuff like with you, and I have these talks with you, and then the mutual friend that we have that's taking your class,
Right.
it's just really starting to help me. I seen a shaman.
Yes, yeah.
And I had a shamanic journey, which helped a lot. I received a codex, and it's just like, it's all starting to settle, and it's like, this is the second week, and I'm feeling amazing, and
yeah, good.
This is awesome. Like,
good, yeah.
I'm so like feeling more like myself. Like when you and I first met, I was like this happy, perky, and it seems like the last 3 years I've just been Eeyore.
Right.
Really.
Right, yeah, and so it's time for that to start to shift, and even on a planetary cycle, that's going to start to shift too, because we're in that 1 year cycle, which is hard. New beginnings are sometimes hard because that means you had to let go of things, you had to purge, which was a lot of last year. A lot of that's bleeding through to this year, depending on your personal chart where it's at too.
Yeah, personal chart says this change is happening till January of next year.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So, and then you said, so the 1 is the year, and then 4s are
flanking
stability,
both sides.
Flanking both sides. So like double stability. Can I read it that way?
Exactly. Yes.
Okay.
And it's a beautiful thing having the 4s on both sides, because that's where things finally start to even out. That's where you've got the stability, some security with that, some balance with that, and so having it flanking both sides of the new beginning means you have so much support from the other side with this too. You have a lot of stability. You're going to find your own stability through these new beginnings too. So you're going to find yourself getting to that next level of, feeling solid, feeling like you're where you want to be. Not only having, plans coming in, plans shift, plans change, you figure it out, you gain your momentum, and then you're going to kind of even out. And so you have not just that evening out within yourself, but it's that other support. I'm really feeling like this is like the angelic support, the goddess support, all of that coming in, flanking around both sides of that new beginning. And then all of that together is shedding, letting go of the past. So
yes,
that's a good number to keep seeing.
You do not know how. I'm like, universe, give me something. Give me something, please. I need some guidance, something like just to let me know I'm doing all right. Because sometimes it just gets to a point where I'm just, and I don't mean to be like, oh, me, but it just feels like I'm just not where I need to be, and I'm not doing anything right, and no matter what I'm trying, I'm still having these low points, and like I said, the last couple weeks have been amazing. So, I'm so happy. That's awesome.
Yeah, it almost seems
I love your numerology knowledge. Let me tell you.
It almost feels like that's a direct message from the other side too, because it's so specific, and it really ties in knowing what's going on with you.
Mm-hmm.
Really ties all of it in. It's like the spirit just wrapped it up with a big bow and said, "Here you go.
Happy birthday! Happy New Year, Dee!
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to next year, because next year on a planetary cycle is a 2-year, because if you add 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 8 together, then you get a 2. And so that's where partnerships are going to come together. We have had so much division, so much animosity, so much distraction in our country too. So many people are not paying attention to the issues because they're distracted by what the surface level looks like, and we need to look at what the issues are. But a 2-year is that partnership, the couple number, so that 2. So we're going to go from all of these new beginnings, this things are changing all the time, to partnerships, working together, harmonies. So I'm really,
the 2 of Cups.
Really, exactly. It ties in exactly with that.
2 of Cups.
So,
awesome. I'm excited too, because
right.
like I chart I had my chart done on my birthday this year, and he did it for a year, and it's like changing, purging. You're gonna have a hard time here. This, and I'm just like, can I be done? Can I be done? Check, please.
Right.
Check, please. And so like just before last week when we had met, I was just like, oh, can I just have something? Just give me something. And so this is great, welcoming news.
Yes.
I'm excited. Yeah. I'm so excited. Yeah, next year's going to be amazing. I think I'm going to be doing more traveling. My goal is to have the book done by the end of this year.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so I have a lot of traveling and stuff that I have to do this year, but if I don't get it done by the end of this year, then it's going to bleed into next spring.
Okay.
And so next spring is like my deadline. If I'm not done by next spring, I'm going to spank myself or something. Like I have to have it done by next spring. So there's a lot of travel involved. And so, and then a partnership, I was told that in January I would have a new partnership, so I'm excited to see what that means.
Yeah. What's the day of your birth? I know you're
May 9th.
Okay, so then if you add, because you have a planetary
I'm a
year
perfect
and then your
22.
personal year. Okay.
I'm a 22.
Nice.
Yes, so that's a power number, right?
It is. That's one of the master numbers.
Master number,
yep,
that's right.
Exactly. 11, 22, 33.
Right.
The 22s are master builders. So they're like visionaries too. Actually, master visionaries. Master Visionaries 11, sorry. I'm adding them down together. So
you're fine.
Master Visionaries are 11, Master Builders are 22, and Teacher of Teachers is 33, which is what I am. And so 22s are just a beautiful number because it's also a love number, like the Masters of Love on the scale too. So
and don't they take aspects from both the other two?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was reading up on it when I was told I was a 22. And that said something about taking aspects from, because it's in the center of the other two, and so it takes aspects of the other. Because I'm a teacher as well, but I mean I'm all over. Like I moment I'm teaching this, and then the next moment I'm going and trying to create something. So
exactly. And that's that master builder because you're building on all levels, building physically, spiritually, emotionally, building for other people because the master numbers are not just about the self, learning through the self, they're about giving with others. So your master builders, creating safe spaces for people is one of the things for the 22. I know that's what you do too.
Yeah, I do.
And so, but for your personal year number, I had a feeling your personal year was going to be either a 6, a 1, or a 9. And so your personal year, you add the month plus the date and then the current year. So you're 14, and because if you add 5 plus 9, then that's 14.
Right.
Plus the 1, which is this year, that's a 6. Well, the 6s are all about responsibility. It's a hard year to be in. So you have the 1 planetary cycle, the 6 personal year, which is all about responsibility, making sure your ducks are in a row, having to be accountable for things. It's that when you're in the middle of something and you're in the middle of like a big project, and so you got the traction through the beginning, and then you're right in the middle. You can't quite see the light at the end of the tunnel, but you can't see the light where you came from either. That's that 6 number.
Okay.
And so it's just a lot of work with that, which can be the purging as well. And it can be, whatever you need to do, it's requiring that responsibility. And so the nice thing about next year also is you're going into a 7 personal year. So 2 planetary, partnerships, balance, love, and then 7, which you know a lot about the number 7.
Yeah,
which is spirituality, spiritual awareness, awakening.
Yes, it's a lot about connection with the creative force, not just your higher self, but the straight connection to creative force and absorbing the wisdom through that. And that's why 7 is so important. Like in religion, most religions, the number 7 is super important. It's got some major symbology to it and everything. So I'm super excited about that. I didn't know I was going to get a partial reading today.
Yeah, exactly.
It's always fun at Angela's house.
And it's fun too, just expanding on it for people too.
Absolutely.
When you're reaching the 6 and the 7 year, you might feel like you've had a lot of work during the last few years too, because you're at that stretch of the cycle too. So all of what you just said about the last 3 years makes sense. 7 years going to be fantastic. You're going to feel everything opening up, that weight falling off. And then the 8 year, which will be 2019, you're going to feel like you're getting the benefit of all of this hard work that you've done. 9 years, a lot of reward and also letting go. So you've got a couple of great years coming up.
Oh, every year is a great year. It depends on how you look at it. I'm not, nothing's going to break my stride.
Yeah, strong woman.
That's right.
Exactly. And that's how we all go through these different cycles too. And
Yeah.
it really is what you focus on. I know that I've learned that a lot for myself with a lot of the health challenges and things that I go through is it's what you focus on. One of my favorite stories, I guess it is, from was about 2 monks that were walking, and they had been, I know
which one you're talking about. Yeah.
So they're walking up a mountain, and they've been walking for many hours. They've been walking through the night and into the next day, and one of the monks is just getting really fatigued. His feet are sore. They have blisters all over his feet, and so he asked his brother monk next to him, he says, how is it that you seem to just, your back's still straight, you're walking, your head's high, you seem to not be having any issues, and my feet are killing me. And he said, well, which foot are you paying attention to? And he's like, well, my feet, they're killing me. It's like, no, which foot are you paying attention to? Because at all times, one foot is lifted while the other one's down. Pay attention to the one that's lifted. Guaranteed, everybody has good things going on in their lives. It's what you focus on. And
Yeah.
so I've learned that a lot for myself.
Yeah, and I think that's what I'm finally getting, finally grasping on, focusing on, because sometimes when we're in this society, we're always focused on what is going to go wrong or what could go wrong. Mm-hmm. And our brains are designed that way too, because our brains are designed to protect us and keep us safe. They're not designed to make us happy. That's where our spirit and everything comes in. So we focus on what could hurt us. And like I said before, since we don't have a saber-toothed tiger chasing us, and most of us don't have to worry about polar bears or lions or anything else that can kill us, we focus on, oh, I don't have the job I want. Oh, I don't have enough money in the bank, I'm not going to be able to pay my bills. Oh, my kid's in trouble again, what am I going to do to change this around? They're a teenager. Stuff like that. I don't have the relationship I want. I'm not getting the love that I should get. I'm not getting recognized. We think about all these things and we focus on that and we try to problem solve that, which is fine to a point, but when it becomes the focal point of life, that's where the depression comes in, and that's where the darker energies can influence, and it's kind of like the universe is saying, okay, if this is what you're putting out, because the universe doesn't see negatives, if this is what you're going to put out, your wish is my command, so then you get more of it. So I'm learning to focus on happy and gratitude. So.
And sometimes even telling yourself you have it, even if you don't feel like you have it yet. Yep. Because what your thoughts are creating is you're creating it on an etheric level first, on an energetic level, and then you're drawing it down to yourself. So the more you claim it and you claim it as yours and you know that you have it, you're eventually going to start to feel it. You're going to start to see it. It's going to open up in your life, because if you're claiming that you're happy, you're claiming that you have abundance, the universe is going to hear that and it's going to send it to you.
Yeah, exactly. So words are powerful, and since most of us are familiar with the creation story, God said, let there be light.
And there was.
So words are super important. It's not just the thought, it's the speaking of the thought. So I've learned during this journey that looking myself in the eyeballs and saying, I am powerful.
Yes. I
am loved. I am confident. I am beautiful. And looking myself in the eyeballs. And I'm going to tell you, you get through some of these things, and I do the I ams, and then I think I've said this before, I do the I ams, and then I am grateful fors, and I forgive myself for. Mm-hmm. And let me tell you, you get teary, and you do cry in your own face. And it's such a healing experience, because you're feeling it on every level.
Yes.
Every level. So it's super important to, whenever you're setting goals, you think of them, you say them, and you write them, because you're connecting all three of those energies, all those levels down, so that way you can bring yourself out of that. And this is a great time for goal setting too.
Yes. Coming
absolutely.
Up to Halloween.
Yeah.
Coming into the harvest time. Getting ready for introspection and planning soon. So
absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, so the next video, we are going to be talking a little bit more about Halloween, Samhain, as some of us call it, and we're going to be talking about gridding.
Yes.
Which is my thing.
Yes, which is all about crystals, which
Yeah.
reminds me, in the last video I said I was going to mention a little bit about the selenite sword. So
Oh yeah, talk about
Cardamom
that.
and Curry, when the guy travels around, Nick, when he travels around, he has a limited number of crystals that he sells, and I want to make one of these so much. It's amazing. So when we talk about energy work, sometimes we talk about cutting cords, and we all have attachments out to people. They have attachments to us. That'll be a different talk possibly.
Right.
But he had this beautiful, it was about this long of the selenite.
Okay.
And it was, because selenite you can shape, so it was shaped into a beautiful blade, and then it had leather wrapped around the backside for the handle, and I think it had a couple of crystals. I think it had amethyst on the back end.
Right.
Amethyst or yellow, no, it was smoky topaz on the back, but I want to do amethyst on the back. With the
That
white
makes
leather.
sense. That makes sense.
And it was just so amazing. So I love, love, love those. I saw somebody else using one of those Tuesday when we had the grand opening a couple weeks ago at Right Natural Health.
Okay.
And it just reminded me, I just keep feeling this call. I'm going to find the right piece of selenite, carve it into that sword. And you can do so much with selenite at
Yeah.
home too. It's a great clearing stone. But we are out of time
We
today.
we are. So without further ado, I guess we say adieu.
Yeah.
I had a brain fart just now. That's okay.
We shall adieu.
Bid you adieu. That's what I was trying to say, but I had a skip in my brain because I'm thinking selenite, because selenite
Yes.
is like connecting and all that, and I'm
Yes.
just like, oh, let's talk about selenite
Let's
some
get
more,
it
but we're out of
right.
time.
Oh, well, we love you.
All right,
Thank
we
you
love
for
you
sharing
guys.
this time.
Mwah. Have a great week.